All right, y'all, we back with a part 2 of where my ex-boyfriend laced the blunt on me. Yeah, he laced the blunt on me. That's crazy. So, what I left off on part 1, if you want to go watch part 1, the link is in my bio. You can go watch that right now. You can watch the whole part 1 and part 2 together. I think I'm only going to do 2 parts because I'm not really one of those social media people who can keep going and going and going and going. I tried to do this and I still got a video on TikTok that's uploading and it's 69% and it's been 2 days. So I'm just gonna make a new video and put everything I need to put into this one because I can't keep doing this over and over again. I'm just not one of those people, okay? Sorry. The last thing I left off on part 1 is that I got a call from him. So he calls me and he says, I know that you're not going to a client. I know that you're going to one of your inwards houses. Intuitively, I know that he was texting me to make small talk to see what he did. If what he did worked. My mom said, act like you don't know what's going on. Just text him back normally. We're gonna have to figure this out later. Okay, cool. So I act coy. I'm acting coy the whole time. Like I don't even know what's going on. I'm oblivious. And he steady trying to dig to see if what he did affected me mentally. God had different plans. I really need people to understand that when God has a plan, nobody can detour it. Nobody can step in the way of what's already done in spirit. It's already done. It's already stamped. There's no interference that can come with it. And I will talk about this more so in the future, but I'm not going to go into detail right now because I need y'all to hear the rest of this story, okay? So I'm like, yes, I am. I'm going to my client right now. And when I get there, like I pulled up, I let her know everything. I'm sitting there crying while I'm doing her hair, but her hair getting slayed at the same time. It was something about those emotions that I put into her head that just made the hairstyle look cute. I wish I had all this footage. I could show y'all everything. I wound up sending him a picture of her hair while I was doing it along with the hair supplies. And I was like, yes, I am. Here I am. The ring light that I came to get. I'm still doing her hair. I'm continuing my day as if none of this ever even happened. Okay. And then he asked me, he says, why did you stop hitting I said, what do you mean? I had to work. I told you that. I'm not really a chiefer. So, like that's just not what I'm just not a chiefer. So for him to ask me that only confirmed what I already knew to be true. And it's just like, you're literally digging your own hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper of what spirit already told me. But now you're just playing out what I already know to be true in my mind. And as I leave my client, I'm driving home to my mom's house and I get home to my mom and I bawl. I tell her everything that happened from start to finish. Her, my father, which is my pops. This is crazy. They couldn't even believe it. They were baffled, lost for words. All I could do was cry and tell them what happened. And I was really pissed. Like emotionally, yeah, that shit pissed me off. Not gonna lie. And I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to my dad's house. My father, he stays far away from me, but I call a flight so that I could leave town because I needed to leave town. So I tell my dad, hey dad, I'm catching a flight there. This time, I need you to pick me up from the airport. He like, okay, cool. And I just love my father for that because he didn't even ask me no questions. I didn't even tell him exactly what happened until I got there. My parents, my mother and my pops, they going out of the country and I'm going to my father. So I land with my father and he picks me up and he just like, is everything okay? Da, 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 da. We go and we grab some food and I break down. I tell him everything that happened. Everything. And my daddy from Atlanta. My daddy was pissed. When I say my daddy was pissed, my daddy was pissed. And I know a lot of y'all probably be like, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't your pops and your dad and I will never put my family in a position to get themselves in trouble or anything like that. When you're being obedient to spirit and spirit tells you what to do and what not to do, then you listen. If spirit don't tell me to move or say nothing, I'm not gonna move or say nothing. Y'all don't even allow God to show y'all who he is because y'all be so emotionally attached and taking action on things that's really out of your control, that's already written before it even happened, that you can't even see the works of God. And I've just become addicted to that. I love seeing the work of God. I don't even do things anymore because why? It's already taken care of. And that's just what I believe to be true. As I'm down there, I'm kicking it with my sisters and my brother. I'm having a good time. They're taking my mind off of things and it's all good. I have my parents' camera app on my phone. And we get a notification that someone's at the door. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday or something like that. And it's my ex. He gets out of his car. He parks his car in front of my parents' house. He gets out of his car. He walks up the driveway. And he puts something on my car, which the car I left outside on purpose. I could have parked it in the garage, but I left it outside on purpose so that whoever, you see how spirit works? Spirit just tells you what to do and it just works so perfectly. Whoever could come to my house would think that I'm at home, but I wasn't. And guess what he did? He put a bag on my car. Then I receive a text message that says, if you ever need to relax, smoke this. It's the greenest bean. But I'm not here to talk about the negligence and the ignorance of anybody else. I'm just here to give glory to God. But my brother was house sitting the house with his family. And I text my brother. I say, yo, go to my car and see what he put on my windshield. Whatever you want to happen to me, you want it to happen so bad that you're willing to walk up to my house with a whole bunch of cameras and incriminate yourself with a text message and whatever you put inside this bag that I can really go take to get tested. You're doing all of these things, and it's just like, I can tell when you're operating out of your flesh, your ego, your emotion, you don't think logically. Because anybody who knew better wouldn't do that, you know? But that's neither here nor there. When you operate in the spirit, you move how you're supposed to move. You move meticulously. And you don't move out of emotion. You don't move erratically. You don't make mistakes. I tell my brother, I say, yo, what is this? So he sends me a video, and it's a Ziploc bag. Inside of the Ziploc bag, it's a wet nap. Inside of the wet nap, it's a $20 bill. Inside of the $20 bill, it's a nugget of weed. And I'm like, and I text him back and I say, okay, because at this point, I'm still playing coy. I'm still acting like I don't know what's going on. I'm still acting like I'm in town. By this time, I already done ordered me a new phone because I'm finna change my number. I'm finna change my phone. I'm just finna switch everything up because I don't want nobody to even have access to me. Instead of thinking, oh, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? It's more so of a thank God that he put me on game. Thank God that God showed me the way. Thank God that God is here. Okay. Even when he was tarnishing my reputation, telling people I was crazy, I'm wanting things that are unreasonable. I don't do anything for him. I'm toxic. Whatever. I really didn't have anything to say. Any rumors about me, believe it. If you heard anything about me ever, believe it. And you will never hear me speak my side of the story because I know who I am in Christ. I know who I am. I know my true identity. I don't need validation from other people to tell me who I am or who I'm not. So I never really felt the need to tell my side of the story because it's really fuck what y'all say. Honestly, for anybody. You'll never see me going back and forth with people because I have nothing to prove. Okay, so at this time I had an ego death. I have a pride death. So now I'm operating in a space where I don't have these things to try to cover up. Oh, I am who I say I am. Oh, I'm not that. I'm not this. I'm this. I'm not that. I'm not this. And me trying to prove myself to be opposite of what people say or what he said. So back then I lost my ego. I lost my pride. If you say that's who I am, then okay, cool. I'm not here to prove you otherwise. Listen to what your spirit says. That's just how I feel. All in all, me going through the situation taught me discernment. It taught me self-love. After a year, I wasn't dating anybody because I didn't want to be fearful of the people that I dated. So I decided to go ahead and heal myself first so that I would not allow anybody that I was dating to experience my trauma. And a lot of us, we go and we get in relationships not fully healed. So we project onto others and we make them feel like they have to fill this gap in this hole that we have within ourselves. I never felt it was anybody's job to heal me. So I stopped dating for like a whole year. I didn't even want to look at men. Not on nothing gay, but I didn't even want to look. I wasn't even looking at men. I didn't care. I don't care who you are, what you are, da 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 da. I'm getting closer to God, and that's what it was. Even when I started dating, I still didn't take men seriously because I had to get my prayer right with God. Because now, instead of you being an upright man, you having respect, you having a certain amount of coins, you doing this and you doing that, I need you to have a relationship with God. Not know God. A lot of people know God, but a lot of people do not have a relationship with God, and it's the difference. Like a lot of women, y'all want to chase men with money. How about a man that can declare and decree? Whew, y'all ain't hearing me. How about a man that can declare and decree and speak it, and so it shall be? Okay? How have y'all ever dealt with a man like that to where money doesn't compare to a relationship with God because God trumps all of that? Yeah. That's what I like. Okay? Because money gonna come with it. If you have a wise mind, a wise spirit, then you're gonna be wise in the physical. But if you have money and you just got money and you don't know who you are in spirit, then you're just operating in the flesh. And that's not long lived. That's not a money. That's not fruitful. Your fruit will come, but it will also fall. It'll rot. It'll dry. I was no longer interested in men just because of their physical possessions. Right. So it kind of like, I was turned off by everybody. I would go on a few dates here and there, but I really didn't take anybody serious. It was just so for me to get out of the fear of actually dating men, because I did fear men after that, because I'm like, okay, if you're crazy enough to do this, then other people crazy enough to do this. And it just had me looking at people, not from the physical, but from the spirit. And one day God told me, you know, like, you're okay, you're safe. You don't have to operate out of fear anymore. So that's when I met my man. My man. So only a man of God is the man for me. And when they say you got to get to God to get to me, that's exactly what it means. Like, you will know who is walking with God and who's not. You will know who actually knows that God is within them and not exterior from them, or who doesn't. Because you can talk about God all you want, but your spirit will tell you who really knows who God is, because it's certain words, it's certain triggers, it's certain conversations that y'all gonna have that's gonna really confirm whether they really know who God is or not. And I'm not talking about the God in the sky that they taught y'all about. I'm talking about the God that's within you, being an extension of, okay, within you, the God that never left. That's what I'm talking about. And if you don't know that to be true, then that's your path, that's your story, and that's cool. Me, I went through this, and now I am a life coach. And not a life coach as in I tell you exactly what to do, because I'm not nobody to tell you exactly what to do. If anything, what I do in my coaching sessions is I bring people back to their truest selves, so that they can know how to discern and trust that intuition and strengthen that relationship with their spirit, so that they may know how to maneuver through this physical reality. Because like I said before, everything that happens in the physical is a manifestation of what's already taking place in your spirit. So when you know this to be true and you actually resonate in that realm, then you will be able to see who God is. I know a lot of people react out of emotions. You feel like you got to prove yourself. You feel like this, you feel like that. I don't have space for that in my life. It is what it is. And I know this to be true. Can nobody come and tell me that God not real? And I wear this on my sleeve. Literally. Can nobody tell me that God is not real? And I really like people around me who know who God is. Who knows who God is with no wavering. That's the type of relationships that I was very adamant and intentional about having, and now that is in my world. My interior, well, my exterior now reflects my interior. And I did not play victim. I went ahead and faced it head on, and now my whole world is different. And so when you say that I've changed, thank God. I enjoy this life that I live now, and I know that God is to be true. God is real, and if you wavering in your faith, please hit me up at any time. This is what I do. When you have a purpose in your life, can nobody take that away? And I just want everybody to know that. I know what it looks like in the physical, but God trumps all in the physical. Everything that happens right now is already done in spirit, which is why everybody walking around in this world chaotic, like, oh, this is the devil's world. It's not the devil's world. You just in the devil's realm. Okay. So thank y'all for listening to my testimony. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If you have any questions or concerns, not any concerns, but if you have any questions that you would like to ask me as it pertains to God, go for it. I'm really here to speak to y'all about it. And this took me a lot to actually speak, because who would want to speak about something traumatic? And I get it now. I get when people be like, why didn't you tell people? Why didn't you speak out about it? It's kind of hard, because let me tell y'all what Satan do. Satan does this thing where he puts it in your mind that one, people don't care, two, that you're going to be judged. But when you become one with God and you know your identity, all of that fear and all that stuff, it goes away. Okay. Them quotes that I put on my page, I actually tested a timeline. I wanted to see how long I was going to procrastinate before I actually share my testimony with y'all. And if you go back and you see that my first post was in April, that is when I decided to share my testimony, but I procrastinated all the way up until October. So I just want to let y'all know this was not easy at all. This was not easy. I'm very introverted, exclusive. I don't share my business with anybody. A lot of people in my personal life around that time, they know exactly what happened. And this just took a lot for me to share my testimony with you guys, because I'm just a private person. I don't want people in my business, but it's not my business to share. This is just for me to give glory to God, to let y'all know that God is real. And if you ever waver or falter or thought that God wasn't real, he is. Okay? God is real. Can't nobody tell me nothing. So yeah, I've changed. And that is the testimony of when my boyfriend laced the blunt on me, and he really wanted to fuck me up. All in all, I did find out that he was not alone in this, which is okay. Because even when you are alone, God still stands with you 10 toes down, no matter how many people are against you. And it's okay. Y'all have to just learn how to discern the spirits that you're speaking to. Somebody coming to you telling you drama, this is why I don't listen to drama, because it allows you, it opens your spirit up to things that make you want to interact or do things that are out of your highest good. My ex fell for some lollygag, and that's okay. I pray that he knows who God is now, and I hope that he knows this to be true, because I am that walking in the flesh. So thank y'all for listening, and I'm sorry it took so long for a part 2. Blame social media, because you know when you talk about God too much, they want to. If you want to see the full part 1 and part 2 together, go ahead and go to my YouTube. The link is in my bio. And I really appreciate y'all for y'all time. And I pray that y'all know who God is. And if you don't, hit me up, because we can talk about this all night.